You know, when we think about the future of drones, we imagine all sorts of things. But what if I told you that future could fit right in the palm of your hand? Today, we're diving into the MRN-7, a tiny drone with a very, very big secret.
I mean, drones are everywhere now, right? They're delivering our packages, capturing those stunning videos, but what happens when you try to shrink them down to the size of an insect? Well, it's not as simple as you think. You run into some major engineering roadblocks.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty here. What are these roadblocks I'm talking about? What makes building a bug-sized drone so incredibly tough?
At this scale, you are literally fighting physics. A light breeze suddenly feels like a hurricane. Finding a battery small enough to fit but powerful enough to keep it in the air for more than a few seconds, that's a huge challenge. And trying to steer it with any kind of precision? Yeah, good luck with that. The research is super clear on this. You can't just shrink a regular drone and expect it to work. It just doesn't.
So how did the designers of the MRN-7 get around these massive problems? Well, they didn't just shrink a normal drone. Nope. They went all the way back to the drawing board and completely rethought the entire concept from the ground up.
And here it is. Just look at that thing. It's so small. But this is not just a shrunken-down quadcopter. The creators call it a micro-aerial platform, and it was designed from scratch to thrive in a world where being small and super efficient is everything.
Okay, so the first piece of genius here is its body. It's made from a single solid piece. Think of it like the unibody frame on a high-end sports car. They call this a monolithic housing, and it makes it incredibly tough and really good at handling vibrations, both of which are absolutely crucial when you're this small.
And check this out. This shows another key innovation. Instead of 4 or more rotors all trying to coordinate, which is complex and drains the battery, the MRN-7 uses a much simpler system. It's got one main rotor on top for vertical lift and a smaller one on that rear arm that controls its turning, the yaw control. This 2-rotor design is way lighter, uses a lot less power, and is just far more efficient at this tiny scale.
So, okay, we've got a drone that's small, it's tough, and it's efficient. Pretty cool, right? But that is not the whole story, not even close. The MRN-7 has a secret weapon, a feature that completely changes the game.
And its secret is? Well, it's surprisingly simple, but unbelievably effective. Magnets. Yup, you heard me. Magnets. Embedded right into the base of its body are these super powerful neodymium magnets. You know, the really strong, rare earth ones. And this isn't just a party trick. It fundamentally changes what this tiny little robot is capable of doing. This magnetic base lets the MRN-7 land and just stick to any metal surface, kind of like a robotic insect. And this is a huge deal. It means it can power down to save its battery, extending its operational time from just minutes to hours. It can get right up close for inspections without all the blur from hovering props. It can anchor itself and become a totally stable sensor platform in really tricky spots.
So, the bottom line is this. The MRN-7 is no longer just a flying machine. The source material nails it when it calls it a hybrid aerial surface robot. It can fly to a destination, and then it can physically interact with the environment in a completely new way.
So this brings us to the big picture. Why does a tiny, magnetic drone like this even matter? What's the point?
Well, the possibilities here are kind of mind-blowing. We could see swarms of these little drones working together. They could explore and map out tight spaces like the inside of pipes or complex machinery. They could perform detailed safety checks on bridges or be used as an amazing hands-on tool for students and researchers.
You know, the creators of the MRN-7 put it best themselves. This technology isn't just a small improvement. It represents a fundamental shift, away from robots that just fly through an environment and toward hybrid systems that can actively interact with it.
Look, the MRN-7 might just be a proof of concept for now, but it points to such a fascinating future. It really makes you wonder, are we about to see a whole new breed of robots that don't just fly by but can land, stick around, and interact with our world in a totally new way? It seems like the line between flying and climbing is about to get very blurry indeed.